Hello and welcome to another episode of Zero If I Could. I'm your host, Raul Zambrano.
I'm Brittany Hersbrun.
I'm Jake Disharoon.
And with us is our guest, Ehsan Ahmad. Hello.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Hey, I'm glad to be here. I'm excited.
So we do typically like to kind of ask this question for like first-time guests. Have you ever been like reviewed about or anything? Maybe say at the Comedy Store, or just someone had some kind of like harsh criticism towards you?
I mean, I don't know if I've been reviewed on like a Yelp basis, but I know like customers at the Comedy Store definitely aren't very happy with me a lot of the time. Because the beauty of working at the Comedy Store is you're allowed to be rude to the customers. So
Oh, yeah.
Oh man.
So there is like, I know certain amount of like certain customers have taken pictures of me that I assume that they're going to post in a sort of review, just being like, this guy was rude. That's very possible.
Have you ever looked at the store reviews to try to find yourself or anything?
Yeah, you know what it is? As rude as I can be, there are people who are a million times ruder than me there. So it's I don't really end up on any of them.
I was gonna say, of the Comedy Store people that I've met, you are almost certainly the nicest. So I can't imagine that you would be the top of the list of like Comedy Store jerks.
Yeah, I'm generally pretty easygoing. So,
But do you remember anything specific that you've done that pissed somebody off to get them to take a picture of you?
this was at
Perhaps
the
to put you on
La
their
Jolla.
enemies list.
This was at the La Jolla store. So at the La Jolla store in the back near the bathrooms, there's a neon sign that says where the bathrooms are, and this one couple just kept unplugging the sign. So I had to. So my job was to watch them, and whenever they unplugged the sign, I just plugged it in, and then they spent the entire show just glaring at me, and then they took a picture of me.
That is the most bizarre thing I've ever heard in my whole life. I thought you kicked them out for talking or something.
No.
Yeah, that's very. So when I think about like someone getting really mad at a customer service person, so mad that they take a picture to later like bring it to the manager and be like, this person is so unprofessional, you need to fire them immediately. I'm struggling to figure out like what their case would be if they went to the manager of the Comedy Store and were like, hey, listen, we were trying to fuck with your lights and this asshole stood there and stopped us from being dicks to all the other customers. I need you to fire him.
It's La Jolla, right? So there are people there that like just can't imagine that every single thing in the world isn't made for them.
They like to really feel like they own the place.
Oh yeah.
That the idea of having a job where you could be mean to people is like so insane and appealing to me, but I still feel like even if I was allowed to be mean to people, then I would just fucking unleash and I would still get fired from a job where that's allowed. Like if I worked at Dick's Last Resort, they would be like, too far, you're done.
Man,
Yeah, you're allowed
surprised.
to call people sluts, but Brittany, you still go over the line every time.
I would just like unleash on every dude that ever came in. Like it would be bad.
It's just veiled for your man hating, just
Mhm.
everything.
Yeah. There should be a restaurant or something like that where it's
They
just
just-
specifically like women waitresses who are super mean to guys. That'd be great.
Yeah, but the problem is that there's you've sort of cut down on the date sort of demographic for your for your restaurant.
That's
You know, like I would want to take a girl to a place where they're just gonna be mean to me.
I don't know. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true.
Plus, I mean, the only guys that I think would go there are guys that really want a woman to be very mean to
Yeah,
them.
the guys that go there are gonna have like erections the entire time.
I
Yeah,
hope
it's
he
gonna
tells me I
turn
have a
into
small dick.
like one of
Yeah.
those things. They're all wearing diapers and stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
probably not a good. Yeah,
But,
okay.
On the other hand, though, if you have women that want to be mean to men and men that want women to be mean to them, that's
guess-
kind of win-win, baby. I mean, this is
Mhm.
like the perfect business.
You know,
No,
it's
but
like
but I think the women would want them to feel a little bad.
I
you know,
want them
not
to
be
feel
turned on.
bad.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah,
it kind of defeats the purpose
But it's like, you spend your whole life and you try and find your passion and you have different careers and you're like, when am I going to find something that feels really fulfilling to me? I feel like that
Your
doesn't,
passion is beating men.
yeah, but it just doesn't exist. And I don't think it's going to exist in a way that'll ever make me feel good,
Brittany, if that's your passion, you should really focus on Twitter. I feel like that's the platform.
Yeah, I don't have a Twitter account, so I could just respond to people and make them feel shitty. That's what I should do.
I mean, yes.
Yeah, one thing I saw this lady on Twitter who she lived in, I think, Silicon Valley, and she put in her Tinder profile, "I don't understand Bitcoin. Can a man please explain it to me?"
Mm-hmm.
So naturally, she got quite a few guys since it's Silicon Valley that just messaged her and explained Bitcoin. And then she turned around and posted on Twitter and was like, "Look at these fucking assholes. These mansplaining dipshits. I have a PhD in computer science. I know what Bitcoin is." It's like, well, yeah, you asked for an explanation.
See, I'm not ridiculous like that. I'm very logically mean to men, and it doesn't come from a place of irrationality at all.
Yeah, it comes
then you have a leg up on that one.
Well, then never mind. The internet might not be for you then.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so. I just remember my favorite time going out ever was right after one of my dogs died, and I was like super upset. But I was like,
this just tickles us on.
So
Great night out.
How is it a happy
I'll
memory?
explain. It's not a happy memory, but my best friend was like, "Let's go out to cheer me up." And we went to a couple different bars, and I was basically like crying at the bars. And I swear to God, I've never had more dudes hit on me. Like, guys just love when girls are crying, I guess. They want to save you. And I was so fucking mean to all of them because I was really upset. And it was just like, so it's what I needed. Like, I think she thought we were going to go out and have fun. And that's what cheered me up. It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, approaching a crying stranger, that just would not occur to me. If I see someone else crying in public, I'm like, ugh, I want to leave.
You walk around them.
I think a couple of them were even like, "Oh, are you guys having fun?" I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm crying. Like, I'm not having fun. What are you talking about?"
Oh, so it wasn't even like they're trying to comfort you, like, "Hey, is everything okay? Is there anything I can do?" It was like,
"Sup, ladies?
So I see you're crying. Do you want to
suck my dick?"
Like,
yeah. No one asked me what was wrong. That's for sure.
Okay, that's pretty wild.
Yeah,
that is the definition of people playing the numbers game. Every single person was just like, "You know what? I'm just gonna throw it out and see what happens." That's insane. Yeah, to just to approach someone crying and being like, "Yo, what's up?" It's pretty.
I assume
you look vulnerable.
Yeah, they think it's over a guy for sure, but yeah, it was not. It was over a dog.
It was over something more important.
Yes, it was.
But like, even I'm thinking of myself. Let's say I'm out and I'm having a good time. Why would I then want to bring that energy into my life?
Yeah, I don't want to hang out. I don't
crying. What?
I avoid people crying at all costs. If my friends cry in front of me, I'm like, they're there. Like, I don't want to go up to someone crying.
Yeah, there's almost no situation in which I'm comfortable while someone else is crying.
So Jake,
I'm definitely not horny because of it. That would not be. That would be pretty low on my list of responses to seeing someone cry in public.
Jake, let's say you walk to your kitchen to go get some food, and then Gordon is on the couch and he's bawling. Like, do you just walk by and pretend it didn't happen and walk back into your room? Or do you think you would be like, "Hey, buddy, what's going on?" Because I think I know what you would do, but I don't know.
Gordon's my roommate, by the way, for anyone listening.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
If he was crying, I would probably have to say, "What's up? You all right?" And he would say, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then I would leave.
Okay.
And be like,
Gordon would definitely not
my
be like,
job.
"Thank you for asking. Here's what happened." That's just not his vibe. So
if you heard him crying prior to leaving the room, you would probably never leave the room, right?
I would stay. If he for some reason was crying in the hallway directly outside of my room, I would just be like, "Well, this is my life now. I'm trapped. Good thing that my computer's in here. Otherwise, I'd be fucked."
Yeah.
Never leave this room again.
Well, Raul, if I'm ever crying on the couch, because Raul and I live together, you could walk by and not ask me about it, and I won't be offended.
Okay. Yeah, I'll probably I'll walk into my room and then text you. I think that's
Yeah.
I think
I
that's
would
most my
actually
move.
really
we won't
prefer
have
that.
any. Yeah, we won't have any. Like, I won't even make eye contact, but I'll text you.
Yeah,
That
that would be
actually
nice.
would be, if I were the one crying, that is how I would prefer to handle it. I don't want
Yeah.
to, because you could cry, you get all like snotty and ugly. I just don't want to see. I don't want anyone to see me like that. Although, if you're crying and you're just sitting on the couch in your living room instead of going to your bedroom, you're kind of. It seems like you're sort of projecting that into the world. Like, I want
Well-
everyone to know that I'm very
Yeah.
sad right now.
Yeah.
The energy you take into the living room is the energy that you want the whole house to feel, right? Like
Yeah.
you don't go in the living
Yes.
room being like, well, I expected this to be just me. No, you've made a choice to be like, this is the energy I'm projecting for our apartment.
Brittany would be a reasonable person and cry in her room, like on her pillow, and make sure no one would, hear it at all.
I would.
And so-
We all watched the finale of 6 Feet Under together, which makes me cry every time I watch it, like bawl. And so I knew it was happening. And the entire episode before the end even started, I put a sweatshirt over my head so nobody had to see me cry and just sat in the corner.
Well, see,
That is.
I don't think anyone's gonna be like, I wonder why she's crying right now.
I just don't like. I don't like. I didn't want them to look at me. I didn't want to feel them looking at me. So it's just like.
That is a level above what I think is like the normal. I need some privacy because I'm crying. You're watching an explicitly sad movie or TV show. Someone's crying. You're like, yeah, well, I can figure out. It's because this guy in the TV died. That's why.
Yeah. I just can't. And
Fine.
Stephanie was like, "Are you crying?" And then you just see a big sweatshirt going.
the hood.
Yeah.
That would actually be. I would think that'd be worse if I was. If I'm on the couch next to you and you just put a sweatshirt completely covering your head, I wouldn't be like, "Oh, thank you for sparing me from having tears in your eyes."
Yeah, I'd be like,
Why-
I want to share this emotion with someone. We're watching the sad thing. I would be so
Yeah,
mad.
well, because it was like a sad scene, but Brittany like hiding like herself in her crying hoodie just made it a little funnier. And so I don't know if I got the full effect because me and Stephanie are looking at each other, kind of giggling, But also, this is very sad, but also that's also very funny.
Well, I'm sorry I ruined it for you.
Yeah, I'm mad about it. So
Oh yeah, you needed to go into the sadness box and you worked some stuff out, and you came out on the other side stronger and better than ever.
Mm-hmm.
did you already give your crying jacket back to Justin? Brittany?
Yeah.
Okay.
I
So
did.
Brittany kept one of her friends' like jacket for how long did you have it for?
I'm not even sure, but it wasn't on purpose that I had it. I borrowed it from him, and then obviously all the shutdown stuff happened, so we never really hung out. And then I sort of forgot about it, and then he started asking for it back a couple months ago, but I don't really see him very much because I don't want to risk getting COVID. But every time he wanted to get it back, I was like conveniently not. I really didn't want to give it back to him, but I also was not explicitly trying to keep it. But he ended up buying me a replacement sweater for his sweater. And then
So that's how you get free stuff. Is
Wow.
You steal someone's jacket.
I didn't steal
and
it.
That's
But she-
very nice.
But
of
she
him.
shed tears in this jacket, and
I
like
did. I think
and,
that's why he wanted
was
it
very-
back more, and didn't keep the new one.
he doesn't wash it ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, did he get this jacket from you at a bar by any chance?
Ehsan, I wanted to ask, have you ever written a review about anything?
No, not really. I guess this is the only sort of political activism I've done. Not even activism. I remember back in college when there was a bunch of the Wall Street protests were going on, and there was that guy at UC Davis who pepper sprayed the students
I
who
remember
were all
that.
sitting
That's
down.
right.
Yeah, I emailed the UC Davis police email, but that's about it. That's the only thing I've really ever reviewed.
So you give
Yeah.
that guy,
That even counts as a review.
Yeah.
you give that
Oh,
guy
stars.
1 star probably. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave him 1 star.
I mean, it is rude.
He had good form though, so you couldn't be all the way mad at
You
him.
were considering 2 stars. Like,
He was very casual with it. That is what I liked about that guy. He was just like, all right, just pepper spray. All right, let's move along. Wasn't even a big deal to him.
That's very an honorable thing to write somebody about. The things that I've done have not been, but
yeah, mostly Brittany has written about what was it?
I just get
was
upset when places
discontinued? The-
discontinue items. And then so
Oh
I,
my god.
It was
I
like some
write
sort
them.
of chicken. Which one?
Okay, I just write a heartfelt sort of letter that is like, just so you know, people really love this, so like maybe consider bringing it back. I've done that twice. One
Ooh,
time
with who?
with Islands discontinued their rotisserie chicken. I was in high school though, so
That's
you
Okay.
live and you learn.
That is the age you're allowed to care that much about islands.
Yes, because I went there. I went there like once a week with my best friend, and that's all we ate. So I was really upset about it. You know, it's kind of like a death. You know, you'll never have this thing again that you love and this experience that you had once a week. So it was
Yeah.
sad.
And now she's
Jake-
moved on to more important things like hometown buffet. So,
I never wrote anybody about.
well, yeah, I feel
hometown
like you
buffet
will at some point.
if they close down.
Yeah, if
like,
they close
please,
down, you're like,
no, please.
I love you to write that too.
And
Wait,
then
that's
I don't know.
What was
And
the
then I
second
also
one?
I wrote it's so stupid. I wrote Doritos because they discontinued 3D jalapeno cheddar Doritos. But this was also like middle school / high school age. So I'm sure the emails were like
Okay.
ridiculously stupid too.
Oh, damn. I wish the Doritos one happened as an adult. The amount of respect I would have gained for you was going to go through the roof.
No,
Yeah, that was 3 months ago. Well, should we read some reviews?
Brittany, do you have a review for us?
I do. So my first review and all of my reviews will be for local radio stations in San Diego.
Ooh, I like this.
I'm very
So this is for Kixie 96.5. It says, so I started listening to Jeff and Jer in the 90s. I loved them. I loved Laura, Tommy, and Randy too. In fact, I loved them so much that I followed them to every station and eventually landed on Kixie. The station itself is fine. Okay music, good for the workday, but what the fuck happened to my morning show? I guess I now know Jer was the funny one. I used to laugh my ass off all the way to work. Now, no more funny. In fact, Jeff can barely be bothered to show up at 6 a.m. Hello, you don't even shower. You've admitted that, which is like him and I are kindred spirits, I guess. He shows up when he feels like it and mutters something about how he doesn't even want to be here, but he has to because he has kids in college. Very professional. And Laura, what happened to her? She used to be so down to earth and relatable, but now apparently her rich boyfriend, who still lives at home, by the way, is turning her into a stuck-up snob. She's a mean girl now, especially to Emily, who feels she is beneath her. I can't even stand to listen to her snotty attitude and her I'm so important attitude. Girl, please, you get all your plastic surgery for free. And if I have to hear about your day, gym, shopping, nap, all before noon, I'm going to scream. Randy's the only funny one and he gets fired. What? Tommy, the only decent one left. Tommy, the only decent one left, you're underutilized. Emily, run girl or stay. It will be your show soon. Truth is, lucky if the show starts at 6:15 and repeats one of them from 8 a.m. on. 2 hours? Seriously? You can't even stay on for 4 lousy hours? We are not stupid. We know you're gone by 8. What happened to all the laughs, the games, the silliness, the fun? It feels like a chore to us, the listeners. It's exhausting. After 25 years, I am done, and I'm sad to say that all the people I used to feel like were part of my life are now people I don't even recognize. Just do us a favor, make it the Tommy, Randy, and Emily show or get off the air now. You're done. It's obvious you don't want to be there, and we don't want to listen to you not wanting to be there.
Wow.
Whoa.
Yeah.
For 25
Damn.
years, this show.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
the complaint basically comes down to is how come you weren't the same people you are at 50 as you were at 20? That's
But
I've
like,
never heard someone so personally betrayed before. It's not just like this show used to be funny and now it sucks. It's like my friends have changed.
yeah,
and they've
she is
left me behind.
personally invested in their lives.
I would love to introduce this person to podcasts because you don't have to listen to Jeff and Jer anymore. You can listen to what's the name of our podcast? Zero if I could. You can listen to
And
this
we
instead.
never changed. We literally have been the same people for a very long time.
Yeah, we're emotionally stunted, so you can stick with us until we're 50, and we'll be exactly the same.
But none of us want to be here, so that might upset her as well.
I want to be here.
Oh,
I do
that's
like
nice.
I do like her commitment to the show after like to still stay on, even though she could easily
Just listen to
find
something
podcasts
else.
or just
Yeah.
hit the seek button on her radio. Like she can do anything else, and she chooses
And
to
she
stay here.
followed them from like station to station. And it's like, these are my friends. I've never met them before, but these are close people to me. You know, that's what do you think
And the
we'll have
fact that-
fans like that someday?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
We already do, I'm sure. But I think the craziest thing to me is like she listens every day for long enough to realize that after 2 hours they start repeating segments. So she's in for the full 4 hours, 5 days a week. It's like the fucking Joe Rogan show. You cannot listen to morning radio that long. That's insane.
Their commute to work isn't 4 hours. You know,
She's
like
probably
I just,
listening at work, maybe. But
Yeah.
I suppose so, but I just feel like that's such a morning show just feels like you should be listening to the like your commute to work, and that's kind of it, really. I don't know. I just never.
No, she's clearly stuck in some sort of corporate ladder situation where she hasn't moved in years, and that's part of her routine. So she's mad that her routine has been disrupted.
But the expectation that somebody can talk to another person for 4 hours every day, 5 days a week, and come up with new things to say is incredibly insane, especially since it's the same people. It's not like a podcast where you're interviewing a different person all the time. So what does she want them to talk about? I don't understand. Of course, you're going to talk about going to the gym and, I don't know, grocery shopping, because what else is there?
Yeah, at a certain point, you have no more stories to tell. You just have to kind of go through minutia.
25 years.
25 years.
Yeah. A lot of people were really upset about this, though. So
Yeah, not only just her, multiple people are like, this show fucking sucks now.
yeah.
I remember Jeff and Jer on it was like Star Radio back in San Diego. Yeah, my mom listened to them.
If you would have asked me, I would have said they were still on the radio. I don't know anybody who's on the radio anymore.
Yeah, man, I haven't listened to the radio in so long. I mean, all these people reviewing this must be old, right? Like, there's no way if you're 40 or under, your main way of listening to stuff is radio now.
Yeah, well, I mean, if she's been following them for 25 years, I think it's safe to say.
Yeah.
When I was 5 years old, I used to listen to Jeff and Jer.
Maybe she's retired. Maybe that's why she has so much time to listen to the show. Sets her alarm for 6 a.m. anyway, just to hear Jeff and Jer, which she could sleep till noon if she wanted to.
And she says he moseys in at 6:15. That is so early. Are you serious? God.
My brother used to intern for the show on like 105.3. It was like it used to be the Mikey show.
Mikey show.
Yeah, and then Mikey left, and so then it was just called the show. And it's funny to me like how lazy like morning shows are with characters, because he was in, and occasionally my brother would kind of have to be on air, and so they're like, oh, we need a character for you. Okay, how about you're the Mexican guy? Right, we say words in Spanish, and then you're like, well, what does that mean? And we go to you, and that's like he did that like 3 times, and he's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna quit. It's like, this is
That's funny.
Mexican God.
Yeah,
That's boy, comedy's easy, man.
right?
That rocks.
I mean, they're still doing War of the Roses, which is incredibly insane to me. Like, I don't know if people listen to that and think it's real or not.
What's War of the Roses?
So it's like this little reality thing that they do where they have somebody call in, and it's fake. Like, I had a friend who used to intern there, and she said she would have to pretend to be different girls all the time. But somebody calls in and they're like, my boyfriend, he's just being so weird, and I don't know what's up with him. He's like always on his phone in a different room, and I heard him say the name Christina, and that's not my name. So I just really feel like something's going on. And they're like, all right, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And then they call her boyfriend, and then they're like, hi, like, we're so-and-so, and we just opened a flower shop in your neighborhood. So we're giving out free flowers. So if you'd like to send a bouquet to whoever's special in your life, like, we'd be happy to do that for you. Who do you want to send it to? And the guy's always like, oh yeah, I think I'm gonna send it to Christina and make it out with like, last night was so fun, and I hope to have more of those nights in the future.
I loved all the sex I had with you without my
And
girlfriend's
then-
knowledge when we were cheating on her. That rocked.
And then the girl comes out and she's like, who's Christina? And they're like, we got you. And then it's just like, it's ridiculous. And every time they always send it to the mistress. They never send it to their actual girlfriend. And it's just like, it's so fake. But this show has been on for like, I don't know, 20 years or something. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's like a nationwide type thing. Like every local radio station has a version of that.
Something like that.
And if you're listening and you hear one of those segments, you might think, okay, whatever. But if you're listening all the time and you start hearing them over and over again, wouldn't you be like, surely some of these people are not cheating? Every once in a while you would think, oh, it turns out that guy was not cheating on his girlfriend and he sent the flowers to her and it's a happy story. But no, that just never happens because that would be boring. Who would give a shit if a guy sent flowers to his girlfriend?
I wonder how often they get real people calling in being like, I need to be on War of the Roses because I'm really suspicious of it. And they're like, oh, no. That's not what, we don't actually do that.
Well, just if you thought you were getting cheated on, would you want to find out for sure live on the radio? Yeah, that's not how I would want to go.
I think about that all the time. It's like, especially like with like Maury, it's like, are those people real? Like, why would I want a paternity test in front of a whole studio audience and then B, a bunch of like sick middle schoolers at home? Like, it seems like the worst situation to get a paternity test done in ever. Like, they got to be fake. That's how I feel about it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why the women would agree to it. Well, I guess you maybe agree to it because you think you're going to get your comeuppance on TV. But like, if you're a guy, you want the chance to be like, yeah.
Just dancing around.
Yeah.
Dabble, walking away. Just
yeah.
Those are always sad, and then the talent agency sees you and you're like, that guy's good.
Because the lady's like crying and bawling and he's like, not mine. But honestly, if you are suspicious enough of your partner that you are calling to possibly be on War of the Roses, like your boyfriend is cheating on you.
Oh yeah, or the relationship is done. The relationship is done. If you're calling national radio to help expose him, regardless of whether or not he's cheating, it's over.
I always say that about looking at other people's phones too. I know a lot of people do it, but like if you feel the need to strongly look at your partner's phone because you think something's going on, even if there isn't, like your relationship is probably not that great. Like, oh, sorry if this hits close to home for any of. I don't think any of us are in a relationship. I'm not sure about you, Ehsan. Maybe you have a girlfriend.
No, I got nothing going on. No. I'm stuck in my parents' house. There's nothing happening.
Yeah.
Hey, we're all miserably lonely, so it's fine. You say whatever you want. It doesn't matter.
But guys, I won't look at your phone. So
one of the good ones.
You should put that on your. You should put that on your Tinder bio.
But I don't want to like.
Yeah, you advertise that. That's like, hey, free pass if you want to fuck around with me.
You're not allowed to cheat on me, but I'm not going to look through your phone to like prove it to myself.
Yeah, just if I start to suspect you're cheating, regardless of whether or not you are, I will break up with you.
Exactly. Raul, do you have a review?
I got a review here for something called The Vine Daycare. So it's a 1-star review for a daycare. There were 4 to 5 bottles sitting on a low edge in the room where the infants that were able to crawl and cruise could have reached the bottle and drank from it. The bottles looked like they had been sitting out for a few hours. The best case scenario would be a baby drank from his or her own bottle. But what if the baby drank breast milk that belonged to another baby? When I went to look at the back area, one of the teachers was in the middle of changing a baby's diaper and reached into the fridge to help a fellow teacher get food for one of the kids. Ew. On top of that, she wasn't paying attention to the baby on the changing table who could have rolled off. The cribs looked like they were at least 10 years old, and I knew the infant part hadn't been open for that long. On top of that, many of the small babies had blankets in their cribs. Can we say suffocation risk? When we went to the toddler room, it didn't look much better. There was a child eating some type of paper, and the teacher didn't seem to pay attention. They had a low bookshelf separating the room, and just to test, I pushed it a little, and nope, it wasn't anchored down to the floor. So it could have easily tipped when a child climbed or leaned on it. My husband and I left, and we both agreed that even if this was the only daycare available when it was time to go back to work, we would not consider it due to the serious safety issues. And then later, they post more reason not to go here, and it's a link to an article. And the article headline says, officers shoot armed man attempting to climb childcare fence.
That's not their fault.
Well, yeah, we can hardly blame them for that. Cops murdered a guy out front. You're going to be like, these childcare workers are really irresponsible to
Yeah,
let the cops murder someone in front of them.
I also like that the cops will like shoot at the daycare.
Shooting towards. Yeah, this is really a review of the police. They're shooting a guy towards a daycare center. Oh, he probably like robbed a 7-Eleven or something.
I'm sure. Yeah. I
That's all it takes.
I don't feel like I know enough about kids or babies to know like how bad all of this stuff is, because some of it seems like I don't know. Kids can eat paper. They're resilient. It's fine.
Yeah.
The part that jumps out to me is like changing a diaper and then immediately mid diaper change, handling food.
But
I don't know a lot about kids, but
I
I don't think you're supposed to do that.
But that's only growth for her coworker. Like her coworker was the one eating it, so like who cares?
I thought it was food for a kid, though.
Oh, I thought it was for her.
It doesn't really specify, to be honest. But
I mean,
feel
either
like
way,
that's a lie. I feel like that's a lie. That's pretty insane.
Yeah, that is a lot to observe in one trip.
Yeah, I feel like this lady's pretty fucking like paranoid about everything, and the fact that she tested the shelf, like, let's take a look, the
That's
moving
okay.
shelf, and it's like, okay, lady, just fucking chill out.
Yeah, I don't think they have bottles of breast milk out. I don't know a lot about breast milk, but that seems like a chilled situation and not like a room temperature situation.
Do you need
in her mind, some baby's gonna like crawl over, stand up, pick, get a bottle, and like, it. I guess it is. They could get sick maybe from other breast milk, but
you could get AIDS, dude.
Yeah, yeah, that's
you can get a lot of things. Like
that's true.
Yeah,
but
I mean, although, if the mom has AIDS, and it's like
it's probably
go for formula at that point.
Oh yeah, that's true. Well,
that a shot.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah,
but it is. I mean, I guess that is a risk.
Yeah,
you don't know how sick somebody is.
I say there's two options. This is what it feels like to me. Either A, everything the reviewer is saying is real and it's a terrible daycare, or B, the reviewer walked to the daycare, saw that all the people working there were black, and were like, okay, I gotta find the problem.
I gotta test these shelves out.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
I was gonna say, I do think some of the stuff she's saying is valid, but where she loses me, and I think she's a brat, is that she says the furniture is 10 years old. I'm like, furniture lasts a very long time. They don't even be updating their furniture every 2 years.
Plus, how are you walk into a room and immediately clock the age of a crib? Like, oh, that's a 2009 model. I could tell mile away. That is not up to date. Like, how would you know? And are cribs from 10 years ago significantly less safe than? Did we make a huge advance in the last 5 years in crib safety technology?
Do all daycares like not have blankets in their cribs? I feel like that's a pretty standard. Like you're gonna have blankets, for the baby.
If they didn't have blankets, she'd be like, "What do they want the babies to?"
I know, yeah. There was no
death?
way to win in there.
Yeah, it's the whole testing the shelf too. Yeah, you brought that up earlier. That's very suspect. That's very weird.
Although if they're infants, they're not gonna climb up the shelf in order to tip it over, right? They're just in the crib the whole time and getting their diapers changed. They're too busy drinking someone else's breast milk.
Can't risk it. Yeah,
I'd leave my kid there.
Yeah, based on this review, I trust.
Yeah.
Because something happens.
Not
your fault.
I also the stance of if this was the last daycare, I would still say no. Meaning that you would just leave your kid home alone when you have to go back to work. There's no way the daycare is that bad.
Yeah, I'd rather treat my kid like a cat. Just put a bowl of food out, give him a single toy to play with, and hope for the best.
They could put it in a crate.
They can crate the kid.
Yeah.
Is your baby crate trained? All right, I got a review here. This was on Amazon. This is for a cord protector sleeve. You don't know what that is. It's like this sort of mesh material you put on like electric cords to protect them.
Mm.
Okay, so I ordered several different types of protection for various cables, and this one was my favorite. It takes a couple of minutes to slip the cord through the split, but once that's done, it does the trick and isn't too bulky or inflexible. I highly recommend this sleeve to keep pets from chewing on cords. Update. Rabbit has figured out he can chew through the material. There goes my MacBook cord. This does not protect from rabbits. 1 star.
I thought the rabbit was gonna get electrocuted and die. That's like where I saw that going.
Well, that would be a fitting punishment, but no, it just ruined the cord. I like that
Mhm.
review really told a story. You know,
Yeah, that was a roller coaster.
Yeah, because also like he had shopped for other ones before, and this is
absolutely.
the fourth or fifth one that this bunny has fucked up.
Yeah, I'm just in my head. I'm like, buying the first one, putting it on, and then nervously looking at the rabbit, like, is he gonna chew through this one? And then he does. And you just keep going through that process like 5 more times. You're like, fuck, he can chew through all of them. And then you finally get this one. You're like, oh, thank God. What a relief. And then one day you wake up and you look at your MacBook cord and you just curse the day you were born because this damn rabbit is insatiable. I didn't know that rabbits even chewed through cords.
Yeah, but also, how are you putting your rabbit in a position where he can chew your cord?
That's what I'm saying.
That you just have him hopping around fucking like on your desk and shit. Like, I don't understand.
I can't really talk because my animal has destroyed a lot of the stuff that I have. But he's huge and he's a dog and he's very tall and can get into a lot of stuff. But a rabbit, you just fucking put it on a table. Like, I don't understand.
Yeah, if this is a big enough problem, I feel like your rabbit room and your laptop room should be separate. You know?
Mhm.
I like
Yeah, they might just need to get a bigger apartment to have a cordoned off rabbit room.
Not even. If you have a 1-bedroom apartment, you just go, oh, I'll just use my laptop when my rabbit's not around. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it just feels like, or like, I need to use my laptop. The rabbit goes in the bedroom for the next half an hour, or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, unless you live in a studio and have a rabbit for some reason, this is a pretty easy problem to deal with.
Maybe one day one of us is going to get a rabbit and be like, I just didn't understand. And I take back everything I said. It's so hard.
I think it's just destroying the entire house.
Yeah.
I have a long held prejudice against any non-normal pet. And by normal pet, I mean cats and dogs.
Yeah.
Those are the only two
And
kinds of
barely
pets
cats.
that you're allowed to have. Anything else is weird. You're not allowed to have a bird. Fish are okay, but they're not a pet. That's a decoration, right?
But you don't even like decorations.
Sure, I do.
Well, that's also why he wants cat or dog.
Look how decorated his room is right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was a fucking mess before I moved in. I got this place sorted out.
Get a fish tank, Jake.
I mean, I don't have room for a fish tank in my bedroom. I could get one for like, I don't know, my kitchen or something, but
Have you ever met rabbit people, by the way? Do you guys know anyone who owns rabbits?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
Like
my friend. Well, my friend Penny, she got a rabbit once when she lived in a tiny apartment in North Park because it's basically the only thing that she could have, but they weren't allowed to have pets. And I guess it like screamed when she was gone. So she got nervous. But it was actually
screamed.
Yeah, I think so. But it was actually like so soft and really, really, really cute. But I mean, if somebody else had one, I'm like, oh, cool. But I've never had anything other than a dog.
A rabbit screaming in agony, and you're like, oh.
I think it's like or something like that.
It's Mexican.
No, that's not what I did.
Oh yeah, the rabbit was the Mexican character from the Mikey show, obviously.
Jake, have you heard an update about the dog that you applied for?
I have not.
You applied for a dog?
So you didn't get it.
Well, I filled out an application to rescue a pug, cuter than a normal pug. Brittany does not like any of the dog breeds that I have chosen.
His favorite dog breeds are like the ugliest kind of dogs that you could get.
All right, name them.
Okay.
Greyhounds.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, let me.
I think I'm on Brittany's side here right now.
Hang on a second. These are not my overall favorite breeds of dogs. They're not like the overall cutest dog breeds, in my opinion. These are the dog breeds that are most suited to apartment life with no yard. So
Fair.
Greyhounds are good for apartments, even though they're big. Pugs are like the ultimate apartment dog. If I had like a backyard and a house, I would get a beagle. Like beagles are super cute. Brittany is still grimacing at that.
I do like beagles, but for like a favorite dog ever, a beagle is kind of like funny. But I mean, I like beagles.
Why is that a funny choice for favorite dog?
I just feel like I didn't even realize that. I guess Snoopy was a beagle, but
he's a beagle.
Oh, yeah, he's the most famous beagle.
The
Yeah.
only famous beagle.
Favorite dogs ever, I feel like, are like really cool, like Great Danes, or I don't know, even I mean, I'm not
Great
super into
Dane.
huskies or like huskies or like I don't
You
know.
own
So
the largest dog breeds available.
yeah,
I
he
like
like
your
really
thing,
big.
like very big dogs.
Wait, what's
Which
your
is
dog right
fun.
now?
He is a German Shepherd Husky mix, but I honestly think he's part wolf, maybe.
He's basically a dire wolf from Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is how he both looks and acts.
Yeah,
No, I think
I
the
feel like
dire wolves are
direwolves, yeah, would
very
be
well
more
behaved.
chill. For sure.
Yeah, I guess I meant a wild dire wolf.
He's getting a lot better.
Well, is it the medication though?
No, it's the spray
Young
bottle.
SSRIs.
No, he was on trazodone while he had to have like because he has really bad allergies, so his stomach gets like raw all the time, and then he's had to take antibiotics for it. So when that happens, he has to be in a cone, and I have to put like a cream on it. So then I have to give him trazodone while he sleeps, so he doesn't try to lick at it. So. But no, that's not why he's better. Overall, he's been better because I've been using like a squirt bottle when he does things that are bad. And so I think now he actually knows what the bad things are and he just doesn't do them a lot anymore. So it's been really effective.
That's good.
Yeah, I was just going to say he still dragged me into the middle of this the
Oh,
other
that's
day
right.
and I fell and skinned my knee in my hand. But I feel like I blame my mother for that. more
Dog
than
owning
anything.
is dangerous, Jake. You ready for that? To risk
Yeah,
your
maybe
life?
I
I
might
don't
not be
think
able to
this
handle it.
pug is going to be able to pull him and flail, like have him go flying across the street.
Probably not. But that's if I
you
get it.
don't-
I might not get it.
Yeah, that's true. It's been a while. I think you should follow up and make them know that like you really want this pug.
Cute. All right, he's
You
very
think you
cute.
can say that with a little less disgust in your voice?
He's-
I like it better than greyhound. So
Bring down another review for us.
I do. This one is also for Kixie 96.5. It says, "Oh man, this station let me down. They used to have Christmas music in their daily playlist a week before Thanksgiving. Not the case this year. Today is Thanksgiving, and so far there is no 24/7 Christmas music as usual. In fact, I have not heard even one Christmas song. I will check back tonight, I guess. ... I am not pleased. Update. After Thanksgiving, they started having Christmas music, but it is like every half hour according to their playlist. I don't get it. What happened? Stations get their highest ratings when they play Christmas music. Update. December 1st has come and gone and still no Christmas music. Also, still no mention or explanation of what is going on from Kixie. Update. 12/3/14. Kixie posted a short video to Facebook page. Basically, the guy says, we are waiting for Santa to call, and when he does, that is when the music will start. Okay. It still does not explain why there is no music before the day after Thanksgiving and why there is only one song every 30 minutes. And waiting for the call from Santa is a bit odd, especially when listeners are asking for it now, and it is always started on Thanksgiving. Update 12/4/14. Finally, they started the Christmas music at noon. Still no real explanation of the change, though.
Anyone that wants to hear Christmas music is a psycho. I'm just gonna.
I like Christmas music,
Exactly.
but I wouldn't
And
be,
point.
yeah.
but I wouldn't be upset about it.
Sending an email. Yeah, like, oh, where I can't hear Christmas music anywhere. That has never been my experience. Just go into a store.
Yeah.
Go into any store that sells items, and you will
there's
hear some
also
Christmas music.
like Pandora and stuff, right? Like there's
Even
Spotify,
in
like just you can just have it like put on like a little channel or something of Christmas music. Like why does that have to be from the radio?
In
Well, that was
2014,
2014, but I still think they
Oh.
I think they for sure had
They
Pandora.
sure had
then.
Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you could buy a Christmas album if you're probably of
Yeah.
the age
A lot
that
of
this
solutions
person
here.
is. Yeah. And how much Christmas music is there that it can be 24/7? That's a lot.
There's just too much. I mean, I worked in retail for like 5 years, so
Mm.
I have been completely soured on the entire Christmas season and Christmas music especially because there's not as much of it as you think, and
It's al-
eventually it starts to repeat when you're in the store for
also
3 months.
it's also all upbeat and stuff. So at a certain point, it's going to make you feel psychotic if you just hear it over and over and over again.
It's infuriating.
I still like the songs that would repeat at Regal over the speakers.
All right, what are your favorite Christmas songs? Give me like three of
Well,
them.
these weren't Christmas songs. It was Citizen Soldier. I don't remember the rest of the words
Okay,
of that one.
To
would
be
we
fair,
see.
that's exactly
Godsmack.
how it went.
And then it would be the raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens. That would play
Okay.
like all day, and I would get like I still really liked it. But
That's
I
a good
mean,
one.
I don't know favorite Christmas songs. I don't have a favorite. I just like them. Just
I've
make
never
me
heard
happy.
anyone say that they like Citizen Soldier, which is a song that Godsmack wrote for the Army Reserves.
It would play before every movie, and so you'd walk in and you'd be cleaning up the theater, and then it would come out Citizen Soldier. I was like, hell yeah, dude!
Yeah.
It's like the worst new metal band, which is perhaps the worst genre of music of all time. But
you heard it Disturbed?
Disturbed's better than Godsmack. Come on.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Is it
Top
like
tier
Godsmack
new
because
metal.
they're talking smack about God, or were they into
Yeah, and
God?
it doesn't please Jake, and that's why he hates him.
Mm.
Probably.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're Godsmack. I just know that they're intolerable. And that song is also propaganda. So way to go. Way
Did
to support
you-
American Empire Brady.
Did you like Christmas music before working in retail? Because I feel like no.
Yeah,
That's-
Jake doesn't seem like a real Christmas music guy. His energy is.
I mean, Jake,
definitely more.
of all of us, Jake would be the Grinch, 100%.
Yeah, he has the
He's got the face
biggest
for it, too.
Grinch energy.
I
Yeah.
do. Yeah, I am the Grinchiest of the four of us for sure. I don't know that I ever liked Christmas music, but I definitely did not have disdain for it before I started working in retail. It was just a thing that I pretty much ignored. But I struggled to think of any Christmas songs that like on their own I really like. I mean, maybe All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
How can you not like
Mariah
that?
Carey.
That is,
Mariah Carey pretty much owns the Christmas genre.
yeah. I mean, that's a good song, totally separate from Christmas. Everything else, and maybe Carol of the Bells.
I don't even know that song. Would you
Yeah,
sing a little for us?
Dun 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 dun.
Oh.
Dun, dun. Yeah.
But that's because it sounds like it could be on like Game of Thrones or something.
That's pretty metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be used for a
Like a
charge, like an army charge.
Yeah, well, there's like a Trans-Siberian Orchestra version of that song that's like has electric guitar in it, which is maybe that's why I like it. I don't know, but I think it's a cool song.
NSYNC has a really good Christmas album. You should check it out.
I probably won't do that, to be
Well,
honest.
just telling you. I was feeling really anxious a couple months ago. Like it was really bad. And I was working and then I put on the Pandora Christmas station and it made me feel a little better. So
Were you also wearing Justin's jacket then?
no, I wasn't. It was hot out a couple
that would
months
have
ago.
been
So.
the perfect combo.
Special crying
Crying and
And just hide
crying
his
into the hood.
jacket
Yeah.
and just then you're just newborn, you know.
Mhm.
Is
That
is
didn't
baby?
happen.
It's baby. It's cold outside. Still canceled? Is that
I
that
think-
gone still, or is it coming back?
I don't think it's
Everybody's
coming.
like,
Yeah.
it was a husband and wife who wrote it. I'm like, a husband can rape a wife, just so you know. Like that doesn't mean that the song is wholesome.
Well, plus clearly
Like-
the characters in the song are definitely not
Are
married.
not, yeah.
Yeah.
But I do. I used to always yell at people, not yell at people, but I used to always be like, "This song is gross," but I still really like it. Like I like singing to it.
Oh, you're a little bit of a hypocrite, huh? Getting mad at people for listening to it and then secretly
I wouldn't.
under your
get
crying
mad at-
hood you listen to it.
I wouldn't get mad at people for listening to it, but I would when people would say like, "Oh, it's such a cute song," I would feel the need to be like, "No," and then tell them all of the reasons why. But then I would still be like, "I really can't stay," and like I would, like love the song, but
It's catch. I mean, it's the Christmas version of Blurred Lines, certainly.
mm,
Where-
yeah.
The song itself is fine, but the content of the lyrics, when you really step back and think about them, are problematic at best.
I can't remember if I'm making this up or if it was something completely different, but I feel like they rewrote the lyrics to the song to be something that was like it had consent or
appropriate.
something. Yeah. Am I making that up?
I
Don't
haven't
think-
heard about that, but we should definitely look that up because it'd be funny.
That
to read.
definitely exists. I mean,
It must exist. Someone
Yeah.
had to have
Well,
written
someone
a
for sure
version
did it.
of it recently. Yeah,
one
Like
and
I really can't stay. Let me call you an Uber. Like it's like
yeah.
yeah, that absolutely exists, and I guarantee you that it's a much worse version of the song.
oh yeah, for sure. But the hey, what's in this drink part is really That's really bad.
That one's inexcusable. I mean, clearly, I get what they're like going for. The writers are going for her being like sort of coy, like she wants to stay. That's the idea of the song. She wants to stay, but she is like playing hard to get. But it's
because she's worried about her reputation.
Yeah, it comes off like he is like her dad's friend or something, pressuring her to stay over all night on Christmas Eve.
I think if that line weren't in the song, then it could be somewhat excusable and like, oh, he's just trying to get her to stay, and she's like, oh no, but then it's like he like date raped her.
Yeah. Well, on that note, who's review? My turn for review.
I think
I didn't ever think about how weird it is to get someone to stay over on Christmas Eve. That is kind of weird.
I don't think it's explicit.
My family will worry.
Yeah, it's like I feel like there's other days to try that.
That would be a very funny day to like try and
get laid.
Yeah,
I need to, like that's my Christmas Eve tradition.
Do the walk of shame on Christmas morning.
Yeah. Ready? I got a review here. This review is for the Hollywood Comedy Store.
Oh.
Ooh. When was it?
Shoot. I copy pasted it, so I didn't say. I think it was. I think it was something like 2018.
Okay. So I could be here for this.
Yeah. You were, I'm sure, in working there at the time. So it's a 1-star review. Says regarding the comedians. None of them cared, and as a result, they all bombed hard. I'm used to seeing this kind of attitude from comedians on stage, but this was by far the worst. Bobby Lee, sad. Greg Fitzsimmons, forgettable. Mary Lynn Rotska said she didn't want to be there tonight, and it showed. Carmen Lynch, much older than her headshot, and so was her material. Argus Hamilton, save your jokes for your AA potluck dinners. Kirk Fox made the show feel like an open mic. Ian Edwards, black comedian. It says, I think saying the N-word a lot will make white people laugh. Theo Vaughn asked the audience to guess how many hamsters he killed so he can act out killing hamsters for 3 weeks. Jeff Richards, terrible impressions, and he was drunk. Ari Shafir, tired, long-limbed, and ugly like a sloth. Overall, as you can tell, both the venue and the comedians were the worst I and the audience have ever seen. I know this because half the audience left halfway through. The show was insufferable 3 hours long. I will never come here again, and I hope you trust me and go elsewhere.
I won't say what things, but some of the things they said were true.
Of course.
For someone to go, these comedians were forgettable, and then to list all the comedians
by name,
dissect your act one by one.
To be like mad that like people are leaving halfway through the show, and the show goes from 9 to 2. What did you expect people to do?
Yeah, that's a very long lineup.
Yeah,
it's supposed to kind of go in and out. But my favorite part is like, for like 5 of them, they had reasonable critiques of the person's act or energy. They're like, this person was just not on. This guy, he's got the same, horrible jokes. And then when they get to Ari Shafir, it's like, he's ugly.
Like a sloth, she said.
Sloths are cute, actually. I'm going to go ahead and say that.
Yeah.
It's just like, damn, his comedy didn't even register for you. You were just like, he's too gross to look at for me to even hear his jokes.
Yeah.
I do remember having seen Ari Shafir live, and then years later I saw him, I think after he shaved his head. I think that's what he did, right? But I just remember being like, whoa, like he looked real different. Like it was like drastically different.
Like
so maybe
hotter? Was it hotter?
Yeah, that's what you mean, right?
Yeah.
It was fine. Both looks are fine.
You don't think he looks like a sloth?
Yeah, which one looked more like a sloth?
Well, now I can't even remember what he used to have longer hair, right?
I've only known him with short hair, so I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know. It was just very.
We're trying to get him on the show, so
yeah. I really liked both of his looks. I was just saying it was a drastic difference, and maybe that's what they were responding to, like assholes, like huge assholes. And I actually think Ari Shafir is very funny, and that's not a lie.
Well, they did mention another person being old, right?
Yeah, that's
Was
not
it?
nice. That lady.
Yeah,
Carmen
Carmen Lynch. Yeah,
Carmen Lynch.
much older than her headshot, and so was
Why
her
are you looking at her
material.
headshot?
Well, also, headshots are taken but
Like,
once
yeah,
in the
most
past.
of the time, and then
Yeah.
and then you move on
Like-
with your career. So
Yeah, like most
Sometimes
photographs.
you don't really update them. It's just gonna be.
Also, if she saw her headshot at the Comedy Store up on the wall, those are notorious for being like your first headshots.
Mhm.
That's kind of the point, is to give them an older headshot.
Yeah, we look at Robin Williams' headshot and be like, this guy's not even alive anymore. Why don't I have an updated photo of him? Why isn't this a skeleton?
what did they say about Bobby Lee?
Bobby Lee just said sad in parentheses.
Sad.
Yep.
Okay, that's
And then
funny.
with the Ian Edwards, it was like, she said black comedian, period. And then says, saying the N word will make white people laugh.
Well,
I don't know.
It
if
usually
was,
does, I think.
it's funny. I mean, I don't know if it was your delivery of that, but or just the way it's written, but just saying, going through the huge list and to be like, Ian Edwards, he's black. Moving on.
I did it on purpose a little bit, but but that is the way that I read it when I saw it. Like, that's like, first of all, he's black. All right, and then other than that,
Oh God, that rocks.
Well, they speak for all of the audience at the Comedy Store when they say that it was terrible.
Right. Well, it's never been a good.
It's been a bad night. Yeah.
No one even stayed for the whole 4.5 hours. Fucking.
Yeah. Also,
That's how bad the show is.
why would you stay? So all the comedians they mentioned, if you're getting to Jeff Richards, if you're watching Jeff Richards, that means you're there. If I'm thinking about the time period that this had been, that means you're there at around 12:30. So it's like you really truly stayed for a show 3.5 hours that you hated. When at the Comedy Store you can just like hang out at the bar and still have a good time outside of the show. It seems like there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Yeah, I mean, you really only need to see like 3 or 4 comics to know if you're having a good time that night. If it's 1 or 2, you could be like, all right, those guys were off, but maybe the next people. But if you get like 5 in a row that suck, walk outside, do the thing that you noticed everyone else was doing, and leave in the middle of the show.
Okay. Well, I was going to say, I don't like to sit down at shows. And I feel like even sometimes, Raul, for like contests or something, you'll be like, oh, come sit down. Or like people will want to sit. And I'm like, I want to stand in the back and hang out because I'm the type of person who, if I sit down, I do feel very awkward leaving. And I will stay like for the entire thing because I'm so nervous that if I get up to leave, they're going to be like, oh, I guess you didn't like the show. So I will, I would stay until like 4 a.m. because I would be so nervous to get up and have someone say something to me.
But that's why you leave between comics, like
I feel like it's hard because then the host is talking and they'll for sure say something to you half the time. I feel like.
Well, the thing about the Comedy Store is that the comics, there's no host, right? And they give you time to leave after their set. They've all done it for so long. So this person had ample opportunity to get up and leave, especially like around like 11 o'clock when people start leaving en masse.
Plus, surely they would have noticed multiple other people leave and no one got. You don't do crowd work with someone that's walking out the door as you come on stage. Like, that's just part of the thing. You live with.
I just get nervous. You never know.
I mean, I guess a show at the Madhouse or something like that is different, where the show is an hour or 90 minutes versus a 5-hour marathon show that they don't expect anyone to stay the whole time.
No one expects you to stay there. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It happens all the time where somebody goes to the bathroom and they're like, oh, I wonder if they're pooping in there. And I'm like, yeah, I probably, if I had to leave during a comedy show to go to the bathroom, I probably would be pooping. And I would probably be really embarrassed if I came back and you said that to me.
That is one of the lamest fucking things that you can do as a comic.
It happens, though. People, they do.
I know, and it fucking sucks. It's so stupid.
So I love live. I love live
like
comedy though, but I'm like petrified most of the time. I'm like, don't talk to me. I can't get up. I can't I don't want to make like eye contact with that guy. I just don't want to be talked to at all. So I'm scared though.
There was this one time where we were at the Whistle Stop and one of the comedians performing, Brittany was having a fling with kind of, and she was so nervous that like Nathan Driver.
You're so
Nathan.
stupid. No, I wasn't. No. He's so
she
dumb.
was very nervous that Nathan was about to, because she was like front row and like in center, and you know, she was just so nervous that like Nathan was going to say something, you know.
I was nervous he was going to say something to me because you told him something very rude that I don't even remember what it was, but Raul told him something like I told Raul that I was not interested in him just because I'm like, Raul's my friend. Raul and I were talking about it. And then Raul went and like told Nate that for some reason. Nathan.
It's funny.
What are you doing?
It's funny.
Yeah.
It was like, oh, I cannot
But, like,
wait to tell Nathan.
Raul wasn't like asking me if I liked him for Nathan. We're just talking like, oh, like, what do you think of that guy? I'm like, I'm not really interested in him. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, I told Nathan you think he's ugly or something like that. Like something crazy. And
It's a
then so
complete betrayal of your trust.
yes, I was nervous that he was gonna say something to me at this show. Yeah.
If you're him, I'm like imagining in my head, if a girl had told me that she is not romantically interested in me and that I'm ugly or whatever, that would be the last person in the world that I would start doing crowd work with.
Well,
But I didn't say he was ugly. I just want to say that because I don't think he's ugly. But I think he's like, but he's kind of cheeky though. And also like him and Raul have this ongoing joke about it. So that's why I could have seen him saying something. So yeah.
I would say it depends on the situation. If I'm doing really well and the crowd is on my side, I will absolutely talk to the girl who then thought I was ugly. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
And I think
I
he
guess
was
that's true.
doing well. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's such a power situation. And it's just like, oh, I can bring this up and she'll look like a fool and these people are already on my side.
Yeah, everyone would boo me. I mean, Bryant told that joke about him asking me on a date before his birthday. Okay, so it was after the podcast that we did like years and years ago, the Punsters, and he was like, oh, can I walk you to your car? And then he asked me to go on a date with him, and I just like was really caught off guard, and sometimes you don't know what to say, and I was like, I'm good. Like that's what I said. I don't know. I didn't want to. I don't know. I should have responded better. That's all that came out. So it was his birthday, I guess. So he ended up telling. I should have said I'm very flattered, but no, thank you. I'm not interested. I don't know, but you panic in those situations. You're like at your car. I don't know. Anyway, so he ended up writing a joke about it, and then I remember him telling that joke while I was there, and he didn't say it was about me, but I remember like the audience was like, oh, like they're like,
what a cunt this woman is in this joke.
Yeah, they did not think that I was nice.
How did the joke go?
I mean,
that's what I'm curious about now. Do you remember how the joke went? Not
really. I think he just kind of like was like, you ever had a bad birthday? Well, let me tell you what happened to me on my. I don't know. I think he just kind of told what happened.
Fine, because it was an open mic at Space Bar, so it's like it did as well, as it could have. Yeah, but by those standards, there's like what it crushed basically.
How is that a bad birthday? You opened yourself up to the rejection. It's not like you were like, by the way, I would never date you out of nowhere. That would be a bad birthday.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if I remember correctly, he said, "Can I walk you to your car?" And you said, "No, thank you."
I said no. I was like, yeah. He was like, oh, I can. He was like, oh, I can walk you to your car, and I was like, oh no, I'm good, I'm fine. And he was like, no, I'll walk you. And I was like, no, really, it's no problem. And then
that's the whole convo right there.
Yeah.
You don't need to ask at that point if you want to go out, because if you get the no, don't walk me to my car, that's the pre-rejection. And I'm sorry to Brian if he ever listens to this. I still think you're a really nice guy. But
I also do, and I tried to leave that part out because I didn't want to make it worse, but Jake brought it up. So
well, you did say Bryant earlier.
I mean, we can warble that to something else.
We can warble it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jake, do you have our last review?
Last one. All right. So this is a review of an app called Grammarly from the App Store. This is 1 star. Okay. You're probably going to be like, oh, what's he talking about? He might be on drugs. Nope. Nope. It's real. I try to do it. I do it and it does nothing again. You're like, what? It works fine. Nope, nope, you're wrong. This normal one works perfectly. I probably spelt so many thing wrong. No mistake. I just saying it does not work. And if you think it work, you're on drugs. Ha, loser.
Looser?
So
Loser.
This guy's definitely on drugs, right?
I think he's on drugs. He's pretty defensive about it.
But I'm not on drugs. No.
Yeah, you opened it up with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, anytime I see a negative review of the app Grammarly, I'm like, oh, this guy must be high. That's the only explanation for this.
What does Grammarly do? What's the app?
It like gives you tips and tricks on how to write more professionally. It corrects your grammar in ways that like the normal iPhone autocorrect does not.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
a
And
Chrome
And this guy needs it
extension.
desperately, and yet still.
Yeah.
No one needs it more than him.
Him, yeah.
Maybe it doesn't work because he's so far off from a recognizable sentence that Grammarly just throws its hands up like, I don't know. You got to get closer before
We can't help you. We can't help you.
Or maybe he wrote that with Grammarly's help, and that's what he got, and he is right.
No,
And that's the
Grammarly
closest,
works
like,
really well.
That's the improvement.
That's-
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I
Grammarly,
will
it's
give
like-
it. I was going to say, if he used Grammarly to check that review, then it deserves 1 star. There's no question.
No,
No
we
question about
use Grammarly at work and it actually works really well. Like it's like, you know how you think you can't really have something like that for grammar because it can't really understand what you're trying to say, but
It's too complex.
it does. It does. It gets it right. So
So this guy
I
is
give
on
it
drugs.
5. Yeah.
yeah,
would
this
never
is
be
clearly
done.
a drug thing.
I would never
But according
let
to-
him get away with that.
It's just very funny to me that he's like writing this little conversation. There's multiple quotes that he's putting in the mouth of you, the reader. So
Yeah, dude.
he's like, I say it doesn't work, and you're like, what? No, it works fine. Nope.
Yeah, dude,
Nope. Twice he said it. Yeah.
Nope.
he's fighting ghosts in his reviews. That's so crazy.
He's got a lot going on. I feel bad for the guy.
Do you think after he wrote the review, he was in the shower and been like, "Ah, damn, I could have responded to the fake guy better. I could have."
Yeah, just coming up with the perfect line for the character in your review that's reading it and thinks you're wrong.
Yeah. Just the idea of getting bested by a character that you created is so funny to me.
Yeah. He's not even winning the battle. It's a fake guy, and the fake guy is winning. But he calls him a loser at the end. That's probably got a sting to this fake guy.
Yeah, that hurts his feelings for sure.
So what? It works fine. Nope. You're wrong. This normal one works perfectly. I probably spelt so many thing wrong, no mistake. What is he trying to say there? This normal one work perfect. Is he talking about himself? Is he the normal one?
It's the normal one. Work
So
perfectly.
the app is normal. This
I mean,
normal.
like,
Is there
fourth
different versions?
I think that's a line that he is giving to the person he's arguing with. Like the person he's arguing with is saying, "No, this normal one is fine, no mistake."
Maybe, but he is often very careful to use quotation marks when he's putting words in the mouth of the reader. That's
Did
one
he-
thing you did learn from Grammarly.
Did he spell your correctly? R-E?
I'm sad to say that he did not.
Mm.
Very
Damn,
disappointing.
that's a good catch.
Yeah.
He's got it a couple times in here, and it's
I
always
respect
more.
him a little less now. This guy.
Yeah, on second thought, maybe
Okay,
he
yeah.
is on drugs. If you can't
I
even
mean-
get the your distinction right.
It does sound like a fun thing to be on some kind of drug and just write reviews of stuff. That does seem like that could be a little fulfilling.
Yeah, I guess that's true. It doesn't strike me as particularly like good activity to do while high, but
Well,
why
it
not?
actually, it seems like a great activity to do while high on like marijuana. It seems like this guy's on some kind of amphetamine, though.
I was going to
Just the
say
way his
Yeah.
mouth is
cocaine.
moving.
If you were on cocaine writing reviews, that would probably be pretty funny.
Yeah, I mean, if you get high and then write a review in the App Store, you got to get some better stuff to do after you get high. Plan some shit out pre-high.
Yeah,
Don't
there's
just
better.
be like,
There's definitely
"Hi,
better
what
drug activities.
What
than
can I do
reviewing.
Not-
now that I'm high?
Not during a pandemic. There's not. During a
That's a good
pandemic,
point.
In month 7, you're
That's-
like, let's
Yeah,
try
this isn't really a good drug time. Other than
That's
weed. But other drugs, like I'm not gonna do shrooms and just strip in my room or fucking, do some coke and socialize with
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah, doing coke alone does not seem like
It sounds like
you can have a couple beers when you're alone, and that's fine. But if you're doing coke alone,
yeah.
Unless you need to like really clean your room or something.
okay,
I
so
feel
it
like there's
sounds
Adderall.
Yeah, that's more of
It's
an Adderall
the
thing.
same thing.
Yeah. But
it seems like
it's
I
just,
hit a nerve.
but in-
me.
I wouldn't want the drip, while I'm cleaning my room. There's just more. It's definitely a better way to do this.
I guess, but Adderall lasts for so much longer. So after you clean your room, you're going to be like real cracked out, and then maybe you
And do
need to
other
like
things.
write a review or something because you got all this energy. Coke, you're
Yeah.
like 20 minutes, room clean, done. You feel normal. Just so you know.
Solid case.
Mhm.
Well, you made a good case. Yeah, I'm convinced
Thank
now.
Yeah, I'm like,
All right, I'm gonna get
Yeah.
some. I need to play this.
Yeah.
Do some coke and then hang up some posters so you guys stop bad mouthing me about that.
For the price of Coke, you could also just get a cleaning lady.
That's actually a good idea. Significantly less illegal too.
Yeah. So we're gonna start wrapping up.
What kind of illegal? I mean, there's a we're talking cleaning ladies. It may not be significantly less.
A different type of illegal. All right, we're gonna start wrapping up here. Ehsan, is there anything you want to plug before we sign off?
Yeah. I got a podcast. Check it out, the Dangerous Brown podcast. Give it a shot. Listen to it. That's the plug.
Awesome.
All right. Do subscribe to our iTunes feed. Follow us on Instagram at Zero If I Could Podcast. You can follow me personally at Raul Z Comedy. Brittany, where can they find you?
At Bitchney H.
Follow Brittany at Bitchney H. And Jake, anything you want to plug?
Just leave me alone.
Alrighty. That has been our show. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you to Ehsan for being our guest for this episode.
Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Yes, great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Goodbye.
Bye.